What are your thoughts on AI and AI in art? I've been on the fence, I'm not sure, but a few weeks back I found a website called PixAI, an art generating AI thing. I was like, oh, it's interesting. Had a play with it and then started to really get into it, and so much so that I've now created a number of pictures and creations, because basically my art, my digital art that has been lacking. I draw on the iPad and my art style isn't up to what's in my head. With a few exceptions, my picture of Rose from Blackpink is the best thing I've ever done, but a lot of the pictures are just I've drawn up all of my characters from my books and things. The model you saw the other day, Lorem, with the guitar, I've drawn. And when you saw that video, if you haven't, it's up there. You can see some of the animation, some of the art pieces I drew. It kind of animated, and then the realistic stuff is just kind of lacking. So I used PixAI to start to try to imagine what I actually see. I got Lorem certainly as like really close to what was in my mind, face-wise, and like the attire and things like that, and how she progresses and so forth. And so today I just wanted to show you what PixAI can do and what its limitations are, and then I'm going to introduce you to someone, or reintroduce you to someone, because you've seen her before. So PixAI works in quite simply on prompts. You write in what you want, your descriptions, and it tries to follow them. The problems I've found are it's inherently animated porn. So no matter what you do, it seems to want to try to give them big boobs and their clothes are falling off. And it's like, no. Some of the experiments, some of the prompts and things have ended up some strange outfits. Trying to get a middle-aged man, or 35 to 40-year-old man, is near impossible. It'll make teenage boys with no clothes on, any excuse. Or if you just leave it without specific prompts, it'll put two guys kissing. The same to be said for females. If you don't put in small, petite, tiny, skinny, even anorexic, she will have the biggest not being able to stand up bust you'll ever see. And so you have to be specific. You also have to sort of say things like 16K, masterpiece, best resolution, and things like that, in order to make sure it does what you want it to. Otherwise it'll just produce you a box of pixels. So here are some of my things I've discovered and the way in which it works. So what is PixAI? Well, it's a anime AI art generator, as it says there. But it's learned that what I like is more realistic images, things that do that or that. It shows me images that I want to see. That's pretty cool. You click on them, you get a full-size picture, and it gives their prompts, their descriptions. It gives the name of the model they use, i.e. this model, the size, how many sampling steps, how many of these steps it follows. There's a method, and each one of these are different, and the different ones cost different money. So now I've created a profile and I have images like these showing up, and these are things I've created. I've used this predominantly to create the images that are in my head of some of my characters from my books and things like that. I've used my Eloise picture, that picture, which I drew and did a drawing in style, and I've done variants on it. And I used her as a reference, which ended up being something like that, with her kimono on and her different looks. Sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's like, it follows the prompts and then it just doesn't get them. And no matter what you do, it will always attempt to make them as sexy and revealing as possible. And if you're trying to do something that's not sexy and revealing, it can be a bit of a struggle. I mean, Shauna, Lorem's mum, was meant to be a school teacher, fairly simple school teacher sort of outfit, blonde hair, looks similar to her daughter, like that. Don't know what happened there. Perfectly normal sort of outfit, apart from you can see a teacher with that outfit, can't you? Sometimes they're perfect. That's like an exact idea. Yes, given any excuse it will find any reason possible to take clothes off of people. So, whereas that's perfect, that's see-through. And I've done varying costumes and outfits. Sometimes it needs to be corrected. You take a picture and you prompt it with cheerleader costume, produces skin tight attire. Wherever possible, it will make everything skin tight or make everything see-through. As it is there, I'm not going to zoom in on those. Also, it can get things wrong, dramatically wrong. I.e. like 3 legs. It was meant to have been that, and it still managed to do things wrong and weird. So you have to go through and then filter things, but it does come up with ideas, and a perfect example of 4 completely different pictures off of one prompt. Some are very sexy and not what you're aiming for, but I mean, it's a great outfit and a great thing, but just not what I was aiming for. This is supposed to be one of the teacher. He's supposed to have short, blonde, spiky hair, be half Asian, hands in pockets, wearing a shirt, have tattoos on his arms but not on his hands. He came up with that. He's not 35. He's supposed to be 35. He's not. That's not bad, but it's not exactly. When it does men, it does really try to do men as that whenever possible. Or that. It will. So you literally have to go skinny, really skinny, ultra thin. And anybody that's doing this with Lauren, you have to make sure it's skinny, petite, tiny, thin, even anorexic, just in order to get it to be that shape. Because if you don't, it will instantly give you that figure. One of the great things about it is every day you get 10,000 credits to use, and you can accumulate and add up to them. You can also buy a paid membership, which would be that much. But for free, you can do a few a day, and if you publish your works, you can add credits, and if you receive likes, you can get credits. Catwoman seems quite popular. Right, I've got some ideas, some prompts. Let's start with what I need. Pick my models. These are the selected and suggested models. It's very animated based, but there are realistic versions down here. Here's my versions. Slightly anime. There's an absolute reality version. There's perfect clarity. Maybe we'll try that and see how that goes. These, Laura, basically just pause to read that, but you pick the things you want. You can only have 3, as it says there, max 3 allowed. But there are hundreds of them, and they're all varied. A hell of a lot of them are anime based, but you can also prefer things. So add colour. Okay, you have to make sure it gets hands, feet, and anatomy right. We have masterpiece, best quality, extreme detailed, realistic. One girl looking straight to viewer, facing straight forward. She's wearing a red military tunic with gold epaulets. Perfect face. Now this is a bit of a like 2 halves of the same face. Now this is where we're getting into specifics. Stunning, beautiful blue eyes, sparkling eyes, flawless skin. All of these things are just to overemphasize how bright the picture should be and coloured. Happy. Put in brackets. It's supposed to emphasize, bring like attention to, but it doesn't always work. Anything to explain the difference in the things, because it's going to struggle this. Right, these are pretty much just copied from other prompts. It's going to cost me quite a bit of credit to do this, because I'm using this. If you use different ones, they can come to less money, less credits, and then you just wait, and it can take a while. Okay, she's too old. It's also rather grainy. So we go back. One girl, teenage girl. I'm going to change the. It's going to produce her to being older. We'll try that. So it's gone down, instantly gone down to 1,000 credits instead of 1,800. Teenage girl looking straight to viewer, facing forward, red release. Military tunic, wearing a red tunic, gold epaulets, square shoulders. Let's try again. Press again. The thing is, this doesn't follow prompts, and as pretty as she is, it doesn't follow prompts, so I get rid of them because there's no point. And it comes up with this. Didn't follow prompts. I don't know. If it comes up with an extra arm or fingers that are missing, whatever, then you add that. It's supposed to learn why you dislike things. It's still turning them side on. completely side on, and certainly hasn't figured out two halves of the same face. Although that is pretty good. Okay, I'm going to try something. You can upload an image, so I'm going to take the original picture that I made and upload that. You can also use one of the generated images as a reference, and then you can also draw on it and indicate where you want darkness and whatever. And we shall see how well this does.
12 seconds later.
Oh, there we are. And, well, that looks pretty good. From a drawing to that in 30 seconds. And they're all perfect, all beautiful, flawless. We shall take them, download them, and then I shall put them into Pixelmator, my version of Photoshop, and adjust them and do what I need to do. First thing I do every time, resize it. 33 centimeters and 144 resolution. What I'm going to do is go like that, copy, close that, and then paste that in. And being it's very slightly different in shape and style, should make it more obvious. I will try and replace colour, see if they'll help me. Basically I want to reduce the brightness and colour and happiness of her. So I can't do that. Make her a bit more sullen and... zoom in. Actually, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the happiness out of her eye. Just trying to apply damage and dirt and... Replace colour. It's my go-to way of doing things with these. We go back to here, we delete that and we upload the new image. Keep that fairly accurate, take it into there, and we wait and see what happens. Oh, hello. And it's made everything perfect. It's taken away all the flaws and the damage and the bruised eyes and whatever and made it flawless again. I don't know how to make this better or how to make it right. It's a bit of a challenge, this one. Might be one we have to come back to. But here's one that did work. Many years ago, I drew a picture when I was first into painting Warhammer figures, and I created a character, and this was my leader of my Warhammer Marines, and her name was Aranor Tribor Sibatin. We'll come to the name at another time, but for the purpose of today, I drew this and it remained for years. And then last year, while going through my art portfolio and I found this, I redrew it and I made it into this. And this is the digital version. So the other day when I was trying to figure out things to do on PixAI, I thought I'll input the prompts for this. A very tall, skinny female in this sort of attire. I gave it a go. First thing, you can see how basic it was compared to what I've just done. But one girl, extra tall, extra skinny, A-cut boobs, purple mohawk, purple PVC trousers, yellow top. Pretty simple. And it came up with, first image it actually came up with was that. It
followed it along fairly well, but didn't understand the concept of A-cup boobs. So yeah, I liked the gauntlet, but that was right. So I tried again, made it a bit more detailed, gave more prompts and so forth, and I ended up with that. Now that's more accurate and closer to the original idea, but I took it off and did what I've just shown you and done it in Pixelmator and changed the colours and shifted it and made it into that. Gold top, purple trousers, cloak. Still not perfect. So I tried again. This time I ended up with that, which was pretty good. Bit bigger on the hips than I was aiming for, and not bad, not bad at all. Quite like that, you know. And so I took the pictures off and took the variants, and I amalgamated it. I liked this pauldron and I liked this headpiece, and I joined them together, like the face on that headpiece, and yeah. So I put it back into the generator, added some more details, tried to get more details on the ornate filigree gold breastplate, orchids and peonies embroidered on the cape, that sort of thing. Still trying to get a top hat. It didn't work. It came up with that detail on the leggings, and that was amazing, but it wasn't quite what I had in mind. But I took off the pictures and ended up with that. Face was quite good. Then I did the same, put in Pixelmator, merged pieces together, joined them up and whatever, and ended up with that. I shaved her hair and dyed her hair, dyed the colours again, and back into PixAI, tried again, varied the things, and once again came up with fourth generation. Fourth generation base was that. Still not bad, purpley hair. This one produced a scar on her face. Nice, really ornate details. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. And this one has a better scar and much more ornate. So I ended up with another one. Now we're starting to get into some really beautifully regal stuff. Really over the top. Nothing I could have really thought of doing in my own drawings. And I was like, that's really cool. The hair's cool, the red cape. And we're really getting a sort of vibe, a really good thing. So I just kept going with it. I took sort of skirt, if you can call it that. I really like the tassels on this one. I preferred this skirt and I like this headpiece. So once again into PixAI and ended up with 6th version. A lot more rounder face, babyier face, and got rid of all the colours again. Took it back to much more red and black. Then I took a picture of someone's breastplate and put it over this just to demonstrate to the AI generator what I wanted, and came up with something like that. And took that, all of that detail and all of this, and we started really getting somewhere, doing more and more variants on it until I got to these. And they got the breastplate in, and the pauldrons and the sashes and the colours and the variants, and I end up with this. And then I elaborated on it a little more, changed the colours, shifted it, merged everything together. I used the AI to create a world. I came up with some ideas, alien planets, sort of flag, and then I put in a space marine and ultramarine. End up with, finally, 10th version. So there we go. This is the ultimate version, and this is how PixAI really works well, because I wouldn't have come up with any of these variations, any of these ideas, in order to end up with a beautiful picture and a perfect character. But now that's our new, the new, improved. There's more of her to come on this channel soon. So stick around, hit subscribe, and watch. You'll see what I'm on about.
Well, there we go. That is PixAI. I've just noticed now that there is now an app to download, so you can do it on your phone or iPad or so forth. And if you sign up and use the app, you'll get 30,000 credits, which will get you started. Plus your 10,000 every day. Yeah, you'll be sorted. So, what do you think? What's your opinions, having seen something, what it can do and what it can't do and its limitations? Have you used it? Do you know any prompts that will help me, especially the splitting the face in two halves? That's proving to be a struggle. Some of them still don't work. And sure, it doesn't really compensate for being able to draw and doing that the ability is still there. I just, as I say, I struggle. I think I need to rethink my style and my way of drawing and whatever in order to come up with something that I'm happy with. Don't get me wrong, some of the pictures I draw I'm happy with. Some of my animation-y stuff, my cartoony stuff, I'm really pleased with. But it's not realistic, perfect, which is what I struggle to do. So, if this video was useful, helpful, entertaining and so forth, then do give it a thumbs up. Let the algorithms know that you've seen this and you've watched it and you've got to here. Just click that. You can delete it in a few months, but just for now, click thumbs up. Leave me comments underneath. Tell me if you use PixAI and if you know any prompts and tricks to use. And if you know somebody who would benefit from watching this or know about this or want to watch this, then hit the share button. And if you're not already and you want to see what happens to Aranu and why I've made that and where it's going, well, then you should really hit subscribe and come back next time for that, and for some model building and some painting and some breaking things, making stuff, burning stuff, setting fire to things, melting things, scarring myself, burning myself, poisoning myself, you know, the usual. Everything and anything that London Creative can bring you. Learning stuff on the spot, finding out what works, what doesn't, and so forth. If that sounds appealing, then you should hit subscribe and come back next time. So, until then, bye.
So, as I said, that's what the computer came up with for Rosie to start with, whereas you just saw what Rosie's meant to look like. That, for reference, Rosie at prom, that's a bit of a quick view, is that. That's what it's supposed to have looked like. That's how I've ended up with it eventually.